Hello and welcome to Wednesdays with Mr. Tie-Dye. So today we had some more technical issues. All morning my internet seemed like it was coming on and going back off again. And right up until the point of me trying to start the video, it kept doing that, and I kept thinking, well, maybe it'll come back and stay, and it just didn't. So anyways, I decided I was still going to go ahead and do a tie-dye since it's Wednesday, and then hopefully I will be able to get this uploaded for you guys later. As far as the Q&A, you'll have to just ask questions down below the video. As far as the auction, I'm going to try out the stories feature and do an auction that way, so I will post that picture later on today, and the stories, I believe they stay up for a week, so I'll probably set the auction to end on Monday or Tuesday of next week. So anyways, if you guys are wanting to bid on the Triskelion, let's see, I guess it's over there still. I'll break that out, but I will take a picture or post a picture of that in the stories. That should come up under videos, and you guys can post your bids over there. We'll test that out and see how it works. But for today, I'm doing another meditation creation. So as usual, I get ideas that come to me through meditation, and sometimes it's just kind of a general idea of an image that I try to recreate. Sometimes it's an actual method of folding or dyeing, and in this case it happened to be the method of dyeing that is what came to me. So we're going to test this out. So what I'm starting with is a tapestry that's been soaked in soda ash. It's been spun out, so it's just barely damp, and I folded it in half and then in quarters. So I drew a little dot right here at the very center of the tapestry. And then from there, I used my string as my compass. I tied a marker on here, and I drew a half circle onto the tapestry that goes, within 6 inches of the top and the bottom. It doesn't go all the way out to the edges here, but close. So anyways, what I'm going to do is an accordion fold on this, and then I'm going to dye it in a modified DNA style. So let's just get started here. Well, first, since this is Wednesday, let's show a little bit of gratitude. So in the last week, I've had 2 more people sign up as members of my channel. So thank you to Juggalos and Catherine. And then last week on the video, on the live stream, I had a super chat from Uniquely Yours. So thank you for that. Much appreciation and gratitude to all who support my channel. But anyways, so let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is just a pleated fold around this half circle here, and then we're going to get into dyeing it. So, and just in case anybody wants to support my channel but they're unable to afford the cost of becoming a member, which you can select a low amount or a high amount. Other ways of supporting this channel, which work out to be free for you, is to just let the video ads run. I don't have the mid video ads. I don't care for those, so I don't put them on my videos. But I do have a video that starts, or an ad that runs at the beginning and at the end. So if you let those run, then I get a little piece of that advertising money. So you're supporting me, but Google is footing the bill. So that's a nice way to work the system. Anyways, also just liking and sharing my videos and subscribing to my channel are ways to support the efforts that I put in. So I guess for now I'm just going to keep on pleating, and we'll just get on with this tie-dye. I'm doing kind of short pleats here, just because the dyeing style that I'm going to do, I don't want to have to try to saturate it too many times. I want to be able to just kind of put on a quick layer or two and have it soak in. So I'm just kind of doing this really short, maybe a ½ an inch in the pleats or less. But whenever you do short pleats like that, you take more of a chance if you push too much pressure as you're holding this, that this center part could buckle up on you. And sometimes when that happens, you're able to kind of sort it and get it back down in there, but not always. So that's one thing to be careful of. One of the things you can do if it's getting too big to actually hold it with your hands is if you just kind of brace it against your chest and then just keep working your pleats out here. And I'm not doing nice pretty pleats here. Some of them are kind of misshapen a little bit, but that's okay. For this one here, the main thing is the dyeing style. Like I say, I'm going to do DNA, but I'm going to apply the dye in kind of a V shape, starting down here at the point. So we'll see how that goes. I like to experiment and try new things out, and when I get these ideas through my meditations or my intuitive hits from the universe, then I like to go forward with them. I used to do that in the past, but I would just, once I would get the intuitive hit, I would start working on the tapestry, and usually I would make 3 or 4 tapestries as I kind of explored with the process. But with me doing these as videos, as soon as I get the idea, I don't really have time to kind of play with it and modify it. So everything kind of comes all at the same time. So the idea comes in and I sit right down and create it, and I'm showing you guys how I'm doing this. But there's lots of ways to kind of play with this in different fashions to get different ideas. So hopefully I'm inspiring you guys to kind of try a new idea out. And the thing is, once you get that new idea and you start going with it, it's fun to kind of flip it around in different directions and try maybe doing the fold just a little bit differently, or laying the dies down a little differently, or different color combinations. All of those can make a difference in how something is going to look at the end. So I encourage you to kind of explore with that. If you get an idea, just kind of play with that and see what you can come up with. So I'm just kind of trying to straighten these pleats out all the way out here to the point. Sometimes it's easier to work on just a small section, so that's what I'm doing here. And then once I get a new part, then I can wrap that up with string here. And then I just move down to a new part here. Sometimes I don't get my pleats kind of flattened as flat as I want them, but you can usually still adjust that. And that's where sometimes the cuticle pusher comes in handy to change the pleat around in there. So there's that part. Now the rest of this, I'm going to scrunch it up just so I have a little bit of separation between the circle and the outer edge here. I could go ahead and just pleat this up and dye it differently on the outer edge to give that separation, but what I'm going to do is scrunch this. There is the circle that we folded, and now we're going to dye this in a V-shaped DNA pattern. So let me get some gloves, I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. So like I say, I'm going to dye this in a V-shaped DNA. So not something I've done before, but we're just going to make little V-shapes. Right now it's not quite as apparent, but as I get more colors on here, it'll be more obvious. And then on the back side, we're going to shift the colors, which that's why we call it a DNA, that style of dyeing. Okay, and this outer edge here, I'm going to dye in a light turquoise and black, just to give us a nice contrast out there. Back to that outer part after we flip this over and dye the underside here. For DNA style, what I'm doing is moving one of my bottles to the end. So last time I started with fuchsia down here right at the tip, and this time I'm moving fuchsia here, so I'll be starting with orange here at the tip. Although right here at the beginning, since it's so thin, it's not going to show up as much, but once we get further up the tapestry, it will show up more. Now I'm going to put just a light coating of black over top of this, just for some contrast. And there is the DNA V, circle V. So we folded it in, folded a circle shape, and then we dyed it in V shapes, and then I rotated the colors on the bottom side. So there is the circle V DNA. So thank you for watching. Once again, I apologize for this not being a live video, not being able to do the auction or answer questions, but I do answer questions through YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. So, and I'll be back again next week, next Wednesday, for another edition of Hippie Christmas, or I guess that's Fridays. Yeah, so I'll do a washout as usual on Friday for this, and then I'll be back next Wednesday for another live episode. And like I say, we'll also be testing out the story feature for doing the auctions to see just how that works. So stay tuned for that, or you might go check, because it might also be up by the time I get this video posted. Anyways, peace, love, light, and laughter to you all, and thank you. Have a wonderful week.